Aloha hoy. Aloha hoy. A bit low there, didn't I? Aloha hoy. Hey. I have been in a beautiful energy this morning, and I'm so excited to share this moment with you and to delve a little deeper and to speak into this energy field between us, through us, as us. And I would love to invite us to take a few deep breaths together into the back of the body and down into the body. Just letting any tension in the body release as you exhale. And if the awareness tries to bob back up, just allow it to gently move down into the body once more. Today I'd love to speak a little into something very personal for me, and also I feel for a lot of other women, either who have had an abortion, who are looking to have an abortion, feeling into having abortions, or have never but are still open-hearted and open-minded enough to realize that not all of us are designed to fulfill all of the creations that are gifted to us. I have been reserved in my sharing of this until I was completely ready to receive what needs to be received and to feel what needs to be felt. And I really believe that now is the perfect time. So today we are going to speak about my abortion. I share this because I was in a very incredible few-day call with my mentor, Chelsey Huntsman, and her tribe of beautiful beings, beautiful women. And I brought into the space the idea of my abortion and the termination of a creative life force, a creative life flow that was moving through me as me, gifted to me. And also the power that I felt as a woman sharing with the world that that was not what I wanted. That was my choice. And it's really got me reflecting on how often women have been given no choice over history, over decades, and realize how lucky and blessed I am to have been gifted this choice of my body, of how I choose to bring life through me. I felt and still do feel that I had not the capability or the capacity, the emotional awareness or intelligence that was necessary to birth a baby in the vibration and frequency in which I choose to align my life with. And thus I would have been bringing a baby into a timeline that was not designed for me. I truly connected with baby before my decision, and it was a unanimous decision from both he and me. And I know that all unfolds in the perfect way. All unfolds in the perfect way. Partly, I didn't want to share because I know so many people have so many opinions that are quite aggressive, and I've sort of realized where that comes from now, and all of a sudden it doesn't seem to scare me anywhere near as much as I thought it would. You know, I'm not denying that we can feel hurt and pain from what another shares, but I truly know to my core that my decision was right for me, and that if this helps another woman move through her own process and her pain, then this is worth making, always. And it's also not fair to myself to hold this shame inside of me, to hold this pain, to hold this magic potential of the life that wants to belong to this energy, the conversation, the communication, the connection. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that I've really connected with about this, and they've experienced similarly or something along those lines that actually has been a really big connection point into what it means to be a woman in the 21st century. In 2024, baby. And so the reason I also wish to speak into the vibration and alignment of hate and blame and shame and the way in which we throw it around at people and places and causes and things, even if that thing is in of itself hateful, like war, like bombing, like something really genuinely on a mass scale horrific, and even down to the smaller, more personal vibration of an abortion. It is all that death energy. It is all the energy of the reaper of life and death, and that real scorpionic depth and capacity that so many of us are navigating with very little awareness, very little conversation, very little connection. I spoke to a handful of people before I made my decision because I didn't want to be affected by the outside world. And I think that that was so tragic in and of itself. And the way that that tragedy will become a force of beauty in and of itself is by me now sharing this and hoping and praying and trusting that more conversation will be had around this, so we can have genuinely conscious conversation around the topic of abortion, around the topic of choice, around the topic of choosing how to bring life into this world. Because a life brought into this world through pain and probing and blaming and nagging and shouting and horrible screams and pain, like that, to me, when I know there's an alternative, and there is an alternative, just seems like a torturous act to put through both mother and baby. And this isn't to blame or shame any woman who has had any experience. I think we are all doing so fucking well. We're doing so fucking well. Like, the admiration I have for the feminine body, for the co-creation of life. This isn't about what isn't working. This is about what is working. And what I really believe is working is the fact that we do have a choice to see that pleasure can be brought into our bodies, that we can feel more pleasure in our body. My abortion has been a huge catalyst for me learning how to feel more pleasure in my body, knowing, trusting, embracing the fact that the next time I am gifted this opportunity to bring life into the world, it would be done under pleasure, in pleasure, with pleasure, from love, from pure, unconditional love, reached into the quantum field, brought back into the physical, and fully and properly embodied. I have learned beautifully. And it was the greatest experience of my life, because I felt life growing in me. After years of being told that I couldn't have children and that I'd never get pregnant because I had polycystic ovaries, I had grown life. And just because I speak beautifully about this now doesn't mean I haven't processed, I haven't had pain, I haven't shared with close people to me what really, truly moved through me, but also the power that I now have because of that experience and the fact I can talk about it and share about it. And I dare anyone to say that that isn't fucking brave on the on the internet today, with everyone's opinions, everyone's perceptions, all of the energetic sides of things, which are getting much easier for me now. I have beautiful new Kriya yoga teacher. Everything is much easier now. And I just want to say to all of the women out there that our voices do matter, our emotions do matter. That feeling, that knowing that something's right or wrong for you, we can trust it. And when we don't trust that, we end up in some really dangerous situations, either in our physical form, in our mental form, all of the above, energetically, emotionally. We can trust ourselves. We are learning to sift through the static, sift through the noise, sift through the meaningless fear and pain, and get to the core, the connection with God and self, and that true knowing, that instinct of survival. Right? So my family have had, on my grandma's and my mother's side, a lot of complications with birth. A lot of difficult decisions have had to be made on the spot. Like, my uncle was born with severely handicapped condition called cerebral palsy, and their whole lives were dominated by this experience. And these beautiful, beautiful souls with so much love in their heart, I felt guiding me through my decision and guiding me towards what was right for me, because at that time I had very little connection with what was right for me. I was still sifting and sorting and learning and cleaning the energies from inside me, because we're all filled with so much noise, so much content, so much thing, and so little conscious awareness of what we're actually hearing as well. It's like it just doesn't really go very deep in our bodies, and we're all up here in the mental aspect as a collective. Obviously, that's changing. But as we just take those breaths into the back of the body and down into the body, we realize that we can speak from our womb space, and we can speak from our hara if you're a man, and we can speak from our root, we can speak from our feet, we can speak with our whole body, we can full body listen to something, listen to someone. And for far too long, I've had far too much resentment for people with absolutely no space or capacity to hear me. And that's not healthy for me to hold, and that's certainly not fair on them, because they're just experiencing their experience and they have no awareness that they can't hear me fully. Pause for tea. And gratitude for those that have come to allow me to have this realization, and all those that allow for the co-creation of this experience. And YouTube for hosting. How lucky. Just coming back into the conversation that I was blessed to be received in and with and through yesterday evening, or nighttime actually for me. Chelsey Huntsman, she's amazing. Check her out, Instagram. She said, it's a lot about being able to hold the experience and the energies, and to allow the process, to allow all of that process, all of the emotion, all of the energy, all of the creation. And I feel as though as we're opening up deeper and deeper as women, as holders of truth on this earth, we allow ourselves to just make ourselves stronger by sharing, by speaking into the field. And who knows the ripple effects these consciousness chats have all across the globe. It's the why I always come back to when I'm having something resistant come up. There's something painful to process, and Maybe I take a little space for some time if I'm not quite fully in my leadership role, which I'm getting there, very much getting there and claiming more and more. Often for me, it's not the fear of what others say necessarily as the pain that it causes them that hurts. The words are just the band-aid on the bruise, you know. The bruise is internal. And we are the ones that have reminded them that it's there. It doesn't make us the bringer of the bruise. We've certainly triggered them, activated them into feeling that deeper and deeper. Every day in every way, I feel more pleasure and presence. Every day in every way, I feel more pleasure and presence. Share this with that beautiful breath. Every day in every way, I feel more pleasure and presence. This is what peace with a decision feels like. This is what truth and connection to God, Source, Creator feels like. And when we learn to listen to our emotional world, we learn to see where the beliefs are holding us back, where they're keeping us stuck in a cycle that is evolving and changing, and we can make art from that, and we can share that, and we can express that, and help share with others who can change their own beliefs through a simple act of sharing. Another reason this abortion was the best experience of my life was because I realized the power I had over my own body, in my own body, as my own body. When I can really connect in and make peace with these decisions and with these moments that led to that decision, with the people and places that led to that decision, there's a whole new space available inside of us to really lean into and sink into and love into, as we allow all that needs to move through, and we lovingly hold one another as we process the pain of the planet, the pain of us all, and make that fucking art. And I'd love to take this opportunity to invite you into my container of devotional playtime, where we explore the nuances of life through the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual bodies, through play, through devotion. And we create a life that is truly authentic to us by learning that the past is experienced in the now, the future is experienced in the now, and the degree to which they pull us forward and push us back are entirely up to us in every given moment. And when we really learn to tap into the right communities and connections and elements and energies, we learn that with all of our hearts, with all of our hearts and all of our love, we're not alone. And now I have an angel with me in every second, guiding me, sharing me, leading me to the right people and places to have these conversations. And I made peace with that. It doesn't mean we don't feel. It doesn't mean we're not raw. But in containers like devotional play, it means we get to have fun feeling, of being human. What if we looked at every challenge with that lens of how can this be happening for me and how can I make it the most fun, incredible experience I've ever had in my life? What if that could be all it was that changed the game? And if you're called to me, if you're called to my energy, I would never say you can't do this alone. I would say you don't have to. We get to do this together. And from receiving coaching and facilitators in the past who have nourished me with every fiber of their being, just like Chelsey, I know the magic that unfolds when you allow another person into that space with you. And when you allow other people to see you and witness you and feel you and love you, that's just the beginning. Because this is where the magic happens. This is just on the edge, feeling that live, I could die at any moment feeling. It could all change like that. And it's a lot easier to be ready when you have people on your team holding you up, keeping your head up and forward, looking forward, feeling the excitement of that future, and allowing ourselves to fully embrace who we are. All unfolds in the perfect way. Just send me a message, comment below. If anything has come up for you, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to connect. If you'd like to hear more about devotional playtime, just let me know again. Follow me on social media. Let's connect. Don't forget to like and share this with someone. It really helps. It really, really helps. I think it's really easy to criticize and blame and say how self-serving social media can be. And yet we fail to recognize that other is self and self is other. I am you and you are me. And we are all here connecting as one on this platform because this is actually a mirror reality of our inner reality. And hello, let's connect. Feel me? So I look forward to serving you deeper and deeper. All of this content is free and it is held, spaced, intended upon being such a loving, healing frequency from me. Any donations are always welcome. So please gift below. It would be an absolute pleasure to receive. And I hold you in my heart with so much love, trusting that we have been forever changed from this moment forwards. Namaste.